ومنهم من يقول ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار.
There are others who say, Our Lord, grant us what is good in this world and what is good in the world to come, and protect us from the chastisement of the fire.
أولئك لهم نصيب مما كسبوا والله سريع الحساب.
They shall have a portion from what they earned. Allah is quick in reckoning.
واذكروا الله في أيام معدودات فمن تعجل في يومين فلا إثم عليه ومن تأخر فلا إثم عليه لمن اتقى واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم إليه تحشرون.
And remember Allah through the appointed days. It is no sin for him who hastens off and returns in 2 days, and it is no sin for him who delays the return, provided he has spent the days in piety. Beware of disobeying Allah, and know well that to him you all shall be mustered.
ومن الناس من يعجبك قوله في الحياة الدنيا ويشهد الله على ما في قلبه وهو ألد الخصام.
Among people there's a kind whose sayings on the affairs of the world fascinate you. He calls Allah again and again to bear testimony to his sincerity, yet he is most fierce in enmity.
وَإِذَا تَوَلَّى سَعَى فِي الْأَرْضِ لِيُفْسِدَ فِيهَا وَيُهْلِكَ الْحَرْثَ وَالنَّسْلَ وَاللَّهُ لَا يُحِبُّ الْفَسَادَ.
Whenever he attains authority, he goes about the earth spreading mischief and laying to waste crops and human life, even though Allah, whose testimony he invokes, does not love mischief.
وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُ اتَّقِ اللَّهَ أَخَذَتْهُ الْعِزَّةُ بِالْإِثْمِ فَحَسْبُهُ جَهَنَّمُ وَلَبِئْسَ الْمِهَادُ.
Whenever he is told, Fear Allah, his vainglory seizes him in his sin. So hell shall suffice for him. What a wretched resting place.
ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد.
On the other hand, among men there's a kind who dedicates his life seeking to please Allah. Allah is immensely kind to such devoted servants.
يا أيها الذين آمنوا ادخلوا في السلم كافة ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين.
Believers, enter wholly into Islam and do not follow in the footsteps of Satan, for he is your open enemy.
فإن زللتم من بعد ما جاءتكم البينات فاعلموا أن الله عزيز حكيم.
And if you stumble in spite of the clear instructions which have come to you, then know well that Allah is most mighty, most wise.
هل ينظرون إلا أن يأتيهم الله في ظلل من الغمام والملائكة وقضي الأمر وإلى الله ترجع الأمور.
Are those people who are not following the right path in spite of admonition and instruction, waiting for Allah to come to them in canopies of clouds with a retinue of angels and settle the matter finally? To Allah shall all matters ultimately be referred.
سل بني إسرائيل كم آتيناهم من آية بينة ومن يبدل نعمة الله من بعد ما جاءته فإن الله شديد العقاب.
Ask the children of Israel how many clear signs we gave them, and when a people tamper with Allah's bounty after it has been bestowed on them, then indeed Allah is severe in punishment.
زين للذين كفروا الحياة الدنيا ويسخرون من الذين آمنوا والذين اتقوا فوقهم يوم القيامة والله يرزق من يشاء بغير حساب.
Worldly life has been made attractive to those who have denied the truth. Such men deride the men of faith, but the pious shall rank higher than them on the day of resurrection. As for worldly livelihood, Allah grants it to whomsoever He wills without measure.
كان الناس أمة واحدة فبعث الله النبيين مبشرين ومنذرين وأنزل معهم الكتاب بالحق ليحكم بين الناس فيما اختلفوا فيه وما اختلف فيه إلا الذين أوتوه من بعد ما جاءتهم البينات بغيا بينهم فهدى الله الذين آمنوا لما اختلفوا فيه من الحق بإذنه والله يهدي من يشاء إلى صراط
In the beginning, mankind followed one single way. Later on, the state ended and differences arose. Then Allah sent forth prophets as heralds of good tidings for the righteous and as warners against the consequences of evil doing. He sent down with them the book embodying the truth, so that it might judge among people in their disputes. And those who innovated divergent ways rather than follow the truth were none other than those who had received the knowledge of the truth and clear guidance, and they did so to commit excesses against each other. So by His leave, Allah directed the believers to the right way in matters on which they disagreed. Allah guides whomsoever He wills onto a straight way.
أم حسبتم أن تدخلوا الجنة ولما يأتكم مثل الذين خلوا من قبلكم مستهم البأساء والضراء وزلزلوا حتى يقول الرسول والذين آمنوا معه متى نصر الله ألا إن نصر
Do you suppose that you will enter paradise untouched by the suffering endured by the people of faith who passed away before you? They were afflicted by misery and hardship and were so convulsed that the messenger and the believers with him cried out, "When will Allah's help arrive?" They were assured, "Behold, Allah's help is close by."
يسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل ما أنفقتم من خير فللوالدين والأقربين واليتامى والمساكين وابن السبيل وما تفعلوا من خير فإن الله به عليم.
People ask you what they should spend. Say, whatever wealth you spend, let it be for your parents and kinsmen, the orphans, the needy, and the wayfarer. Allah is aware of whatever good you do.
كتب عليكم القتال وهو كره لكم وعسى أن تكرهوا شيئا وهو خير لكم وعسى أن تحبوا شيئا وهو شر لكم والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون.
Fighting is ordained upon you and it is disliked by you. It may well be that you dislike a thing even though it is good for you. And it may well be that you like a thing even though it is bad for you. Allah knows and you do not know.
يسألونك عن الشهر الحرام قتال فيه قل قتال فيه كبير وصد عن سبيل الله وكفر به والمسجد الحرام وإخراج أهله منه أكبر عند الله والفتنة أكبر من القتل ولا يزالون يقاتلونكم حتى يردوكم عن دينكم إن استطاعوا ومن يرتد منكم عن دينه فيمت وهو كافر فأولئك حبطت أعمالهم في الدنيا والآخرة وأولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون.
People ask you about fighting in the holy month. Say, fighting in it is an awesome sin, but barring people from the way of Allah, disbelieving in Him and denying entry into the holy mosque and expelling its inmates from it are more awesome acts in the sight of Allah, and persecution is even more heinous than killing. They will not cease fighting against you till they turn you from your religion if they can. So remember well that whoever from amongst you turns away from his religion and dies in the state of unbelief, their work will go to waste in this world and in the next. They are destined for the fire, and it is there that they will abide.
إن الذين آمنوا والذين هاجروا وجاهدوا في سبيل الله أولئك يرجون رحمة الله والله غفور رحيم.
On the contrary, those who believed and forsook their hearth and home and strove in the way of Allah, such may rightly hope for the mercy of Allah, for Allah is all forgiving, all merciful.
يسألونك عن الخمر والميسر قل فيهما إثم كبير ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما ويسألونك ماذا ينفقون قل العفو كذلك يبين الله لكم الآيات لعلكم تتفكرون.
They ask you about wine and games of chance. Say, in both these there is great evil, even though there is some benefit for people, but their evil is greater than their benefit. They ask, what should we spend in the way of Allah? Say, whatever you can spare. In this way Allah clearly expounds His injunctions to you, that you may reflect upon them.
في الدنيا والآخرة ويسألونك عن اليتامى قل إصلاح لهم خير وإن تخالطوهم فإخوانكم والله يعلم المفسد من المصلح ولو شاء الله لأعنتكم إن الله عزيز حكيم.
Both in regard to this world and the next. They question you concerning orphans. Say, to deal with them in the way which is to their good, that is best. And if you intermix your expenses and living with them, there is no harm, for they are your brothers. Allah knows the mischievous from the righteous. And had Allah willed, He would indeed have imposed on you exacting conditions. But He is all-powerful, most wise.
ولا تنكحوا المشركات حتى يؤمن ولأمة مؤمنة خير من مشركة ولو أعجبتكم ولا تنكحوا المشركين حتى يؤمنوا ولعبد مؤمن خير من مشرك ولو أعجبكم أولئك يدعون إلى النار والله يدعو إلى الجنة والمغفرة بإذنه ويبين آياته للناس لعلهم يتذكرون.
Marry not the women who associate others with Allah in His divinity until they believe, for a believing slave girl is better than a free, respectable woman who associates others with Allah in His divinity, even though she might please you. Likewise, do not give your women in marriage to men who associate others with Allah in His divinity until they believe, for a believing slave is better than a free, respectable man who associates others with Allah in His divinity, even though he might please you. Such people call you towards the fire, and Allah calls you by His leave towards paradise and forgiveness. And He makes His injunctions clear to people so that they may take heed.
ويسألونك عن المحيض قل هو أذى فاعتزلوا النساء في المحيض ولا تقربوهن حتى يطهرن فإذا تطهرن فأتوهن من حيث أمركم الله إن الله يحب التوابين ويحب المتطهرين.
They ask you about menstruation. Say, it is a state of impurity. So keep away from women in the state of menstruation, and do not approach them until they are cleansed. And when they are cleansed, then come to them as Allah has commanded you. Truly, Allah loves those who abstain from evil and keep themselves pure.
نساؤكم حرث لكم فأتوا حرثكم أنى شئتم وقدموا لأنفسكم واتقوا الله واعلموا أنكم ملاقوه وبشر المؤمنين.
Your wives are your tilth. Go then into your tilth as you wish, but take heed of your ultimate future and avoid incurring the wrath of Allah. Know well that one day you shall face Him. Announce good tidings to the believers.
ولا تجعلوا الله عرضة لأيمانكم أن تبروا وتتقوا وتصلحوا بين الناس والله سميع عليم.
Do not swear by Allah in your oaths if they are intended to hinder you from virtue, piety, and promoting the good of mankind. Surely Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing.
لا يؤاخذكم الله باللغو في أيمانكم ولكن يؤاخذكم بما كسبت قلوبكم والله غفور حليم.
Allah will not take you to task for the oaths you utter in vain, but will certainly take you to task for the oaths you utter in earnest. Allah is all forgiving, all forbearing.
للذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربص 4 أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله غفور رحيم.
For those who vow abstinence from their wives, there's a respite of 4 months. Then if they go back on their vow, they will find that Allah is all forgiving, all compassionate.
وإن عزموا الطلاق فإن الله سميع عليم.
And if they resolve on divorce, surely Allah is all-hearing, all-knowing.
والمطلقات يتربصن بأنفسهن 3 قروء ولا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن إن كن يؤمن بالله واليوم الآخر وبعولتهن أحق بردهن في ذلك إن أرادوا إصلاحا ولهن مثل الذي عليهن بالمعروف وللرجال عليهن درجة والله عزيز حكيم.
Divorced women shall keep themselves in waiting for 3 menstrual courses, and it is unlawful for them, if they believe in Allah and the last day, to hide whatever Allah might have created in their wombs. Should their husbands desire reconciliation during this time, they are entitled to take them back into wedlock. Women have the same rights against their men as men have against them. But men have a degree above them. Allah is all-powerful, all-wise.
الطلاق مرتان فإمساك بمعروف أو تسريح بإحسان ولا يحل لكم أن تأخذوا مما آتيتموهن شيئا إلا أن يخافا ألا يقيما حدود الله فإن خفتم ألا يقيما حدود الله فلا جناح عليهما فيما افتدت به تلك حدود الله فلا تعتدوها ومن يتعد حدود الله فأولئك هم الظالمون.
Divorce can be pronounced twice. Then either honorable retention or kindly release should follow. While dissolving the marriage tie, it is unlawful for you to take back anything of what you have given to your wives, unless both fear that they may not be able to keep within the bounds set by Allah. Then if they fear that they might not be able to keep within the bounds set by Allah, there's no blame upon them for what the wife might give away of her property to become released from the marriage tie. These are the bounds set by Allah. Do not transgress them. Those of you who transgress the bounds set by Allah are indeed the wrongdoers.
فإن طلقها فلا تحل له من بعد حتى تنكح زوجا غيره فإن طلقها فلا جناح عليهما أن يتراجعا إن ظنا أن يقيما حدود الله وتلك حدود الله يبينها لقوم يعلمون.
Then if he divorces her for the third time after having pronounced the divorce twice, she shall not be lawful to him unless she first takes another man for a husband and he divorces her. There's no blame upon them if both of them return to one another thereafter, provided they think that they will be able to keep within the bounds set by Allah. These are the bounds of Allah, which He makes clear to a people who have knowledge of the consequences of violating those bounds.